Hello guys, this is me Vishnu Ram with another chapter from our English textbook. The first flight, the fifth poem, the ball poem written by John Berryman. John Berryman. He was an American poet and scholar. He is well known for his sequence of songs, sequence of poems, a book called Dream Songs, which was published in 1969. And that book won him a Pulitzer Award for poetry. And the prescribed poem, the ball poem, is one of the best poems of John Berryman. The ball poem. The poem discusses about the realities we need to face in our daily life, in our human life, and how to stand up against the sorrows and miseries in life. Let's see how the poem goes. Before getting into the detailed explanation of the lines of poetry, I would like to tell you the summary of the poem, what exactly the poem deals with. Here, poet talks about a little boy who was actually playing with a ball. He's explaining it, or he's telling every details in a field that we should understand that the poet is watching the boy from a close distance. The boy was playing with the ball, and unfortunately, the ball slipped out of his hand, and it bounced in the street and fall into the water. There was a harbor nearby, so it falls into the water, and he lost his ball. So the boy lost his ball, and little boys, when they lose their toys, surely they'll be desperate. Same in case of the boy discussed in the poem. He was really desperate, sad. He was looking for his ball in the water, very sorrowful. He was having that much sad feeling for that. When the poet saw the boy, poet first felt to go and console him, maybe to give cash, give money to buy a new ball. But then he thought again, if I give him a new ball, okay, we can replace the lost ball with a new ball, or he can give money. But what's the use? The memories, the affection and attraction towards that particular ball which was lost, it can't be replaced. So the loss is always a loss. A lost ball can't be replaced with a new one. And the poet wants the boy to understand the highest responsibility in our life, to face the loss. Here he mentions the ball, but think about it. We have to confront, we have to face a lot of realities in our life. There would be a lot of losses. The loss of loved ones, loved things. We have to face it. And we have to stand up against all the miseries, all the issues, problems, difficulties in our life. This is what the poet describes or explains through his poem. He stops him to go and console the child, so that the child can understand the loss, the knowledge of losing things. It's mentioned as epistemology of loss. That's it. Let's get into the detailed explanation of the poetry, the ball poem.
What is the boy now who has lost his ball? What? What is he to do? I saw it go, merrily bouncing down the street and then merrily over. There it is in the water.
In these lines, the poet talks about the boy who has lost his ball. And he just wanted to know what exactly the boy is going to do when he knew that the ball is lost forever. Because for the boy, ball is everything. Because without ball he can't play. So he has got an emotional attachment towards the ball. The poet knows that. Poet describes that after the boy slipped the ball out of his hand, the ball was merrily bouncing through the street and fell into the water. Poet is confused. Poet thinks, what feelings are there in the boy's mind? How he is going to tackle it? What will be the reaction of the boy? These things are actually confusing the poet.
No use to say, oh, there are other balls. An ultimate shaking grief fixes the boy as he stands rigid, trembling, staring down all his young days into the harbor where his ball went. I would not intrude on him. A dime another ball is worthless.
In these lines, the poet, as he was confused, what will be the reaction of the boy after losing the ball? The poet understands he is grief stricken. He is surrounded with sorrow. His heart, his mind is full of sadness for the ball he has lost. It's not because of the ball, but the memories, the emotional attachment he had with the ball. As the ball is lost into the water, he was shocked. He was standing there on the shore in the harbor, looking into the water where his ball was lost. The ball was lost with all his memories, all his emotions, all his childhood, younger age memories. That's why when the poet says he'll go and console the child, he says that it's worthless. If we go and console the child, it's of no use. Because it's not about the material ball he's lost, but about the emotions and memories with the ball. The poet says he can give a dime. Dime in the sense 10 cents. Cash. He could give money to buy a new ball. But a new ball never replaces the old one. The boy won't get the same feeling towards a new ball. A lost ball is always a lost one. Those emotions, those memories regarding that first ball, it's already lost in the water. So, the poet take aback of consoling him with another ball or a little money to buy a new one. The poet thinks that this is the knowledge of the first responsibility in the life of possession, in the world of possessions. This is the first learning of a child when he loses something. So, the poet never wants to intrude into the boy's problem. He lets the boy face it.
Now he senses first responsibility in a world of possessions. People will take balls. Balls will be lost always, little boy. And no one buys a ball back. Money is external. He is learning, well behind his desperate eyes, the epistemology of laws. How to stand up knowing what every man must one day know. And most know many days how to stand up.
In these last set of lines of poetry, the poet describes about the common things happening in our human life. He generally says that everyone take balls. Everyone take balls and everyone loses balls. Every human being, they lose something or someone which they feel that it's their belonging. It can be relations, it can be possessions, materialistic possessions. He says that money is external. Of course, money can buy you things, but only materialistic things. But think about it, you had something which is materialistic, you had a great love for that thing, and you lose it somewhere. You lost it, like for eternal, you lost it. Of course, you had enough money to buy a new one. A new one never replaces the old one, never replaces your emotions you had with the old one. So, money is external, money doesn't have anything to do with your loss. And he says that this is the first lesson the boy needs to learn about loss. He says that the boy is learning his first lesson about loss. He says about the epistemology of loss. Epistemology is a Greek word for the knowledge itself. So it's like knowledge of loss. Those who have knowledge of loss, those who knows about the lost things, how to tackle, how to stand up against the losses, those people will stand up against every kind of miseries, sorrows, difficulties in life. Here, the poet says, the boy need to stand up and face the reality of life. Through the boy, he actually mentions everyone, you and me. Yes, you and me. We have to face the reality of life. We lose something or someone we love on a particular day. That day, we have to understand, we have to show the strength to stand up. This is what he mentions in these lines. Everyone, there's a particular day to understand the value of lost things and to have the responsibility to stand up. Of course, we need to stand up. We should not be that much desperate, or we don't think that this is the end of the life. We have to move on. That's it. That's it. That's what the poet describes through the line and through the same whole poetry. The ball poem. This poem actually explains the loss of things, how to face the losses. In this moment, I just want to ask you a question. Have you ever faced such a situation where you lost something or someone you loved? How did you manage to get over it? I'm expecting your answers in the comment section. And now we'll get into the poetic devices used in this chapter. Let's see.
As we can see, there is no particular rhyming scheme present in this piece of poetry. So we can call it as a poetry written in free verse. And regarding the other poetic devices, look at the first two lines. It starts with the same word, what. And third and fourth line also, they also starts with the same word, merrily. If the adjacent lines, they start with the same word, we can call it as the use of anaphora. And in the second line also, the word what is repeated. It is written as what is he to do. As a word is repeated in the same line of poetry, we can call it as a repetition. In the same scene, we can see that on the 13th line, balls is repeated. The word balls is repeated as balls will be lost always. That can also noted as repetition. In the 14th line, the consonant sound b is repeated in buys a ball back. So buys, ball, back are three different words used in the same line with the consonant sound b in the starting. As a consonant sound is repeated in a line of poetry, as we all know, this comes under the poetic device alliteration.
I hope you all enjoyed the ball poem written by John Berryman and my class. Till we meet next time with another chapter, it's bye from Vishnuram. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy.